4 of LLC 2022. My name is Zelza and I will be the PIT of this room. I will also act as a timekeeper and will be reminding the presenter verbally 2 minutes before the time is up. In this parallel session, each team will have 15 minutes to present and 5 minutes for the Q&A session after all of the presenters have been presented their presentation. Each presentation will be moderated by the next presenter. So without any further ado, let's begin the first presentation by Miss Istiqlailah Nurul Hidayati and will be moderated by Miss Gadis Maura Jetisa. So Miss Gadis and Miss Istiqlailah, the time is yours.
Okay, Mbak Zelda, thank you. Bapak Ibu, I would like to share my presentation first. I mean my PowerPoint.
Yes, please.
Oh, wait. I have opened it, but I don't find it. Wait, Pak. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen, Bapak Ibu?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so this is my the result of my research. Yeah, actually, this is the title: ICT competency development for writing skill. But then, in the process of my research, I changed the. Oh, I think aduh, seperti saya salah ya. Mohon maaf, ini yang berbahasa Indonesia. Okay, that's okay. I will present in English, yeah, even though my slide is in bahasa Indonesia. I'm so sorry. There were so many things to do, so I forgot to change it into English. I'm so sorry, Mbak Zelda, and also Bapak Ibu. Yeah. Okay. So ICT competency development for writing skill. The background of my study is that the students are they are required to create a logical writing, and writing is also a high skill that can always develop according to the cognitive of the students cognitive, and also the assignment that is given by the lecturers or by the teacher. And then by giving the theory only to the students, it is not enough for making their writing better. And then I have done pilot research before I did my research. So I analyzed the documents. The documents are the the worksheet made by or written by students. There were 30 students 30 students writings that I analyzed, and from the analysis I found that 70% of the writing 70% of the writing the idea is not developed yet. So the highest problem is about the idea in the writing. 50%, 56% shows that the writing organization is not good enough, and 40% shows grammar inaccuracy. The grammar inaccuracy, and then the diction, and also the mechanics things. But the highest problem is about the idea that is not developed yet. And then I also spread questionnaire to the students, and from the questionnaire, I found out that 77% of the students said that writing an essay is difficult because of the lack of the knowledge. So it is almost similar from the finding of the document analysis. From the document analysis, I found out that the highest problem is about the idea, and then from the questionnaire, it is also found that the highest problem is about the idea. So the result is similar. And I also did the literature review. These are the literature that I have read. from Ismianti and Prabiantika in 2020. The research title is Designing Strategies for University Students Writing Skill. From this research, the researchers have designed some strategies for students' writing skill. One of the strategy is by using diary in writing. The gap of this research, I found a gap in this research, which is by writing a diary, probably the students can exercise their writing ability, but there is no guarantee that the writing is logical, that the writing logical, and also the content is there is no guarantee that content is good, or critical. There is no guarantee that writing diary will make the writing critical. And then from Xu Hua and Wang in 2022, they conducted study. The title of the research is Methods of Improving and Optimizing English Education in College and Universities Assisted by Micro Video Technology. Here, micro video technology, the use of micro video technology can help students find new vocabulary and all new vocabulary. So students find new vocabulary from the video, and then they use the new vocabulary, the new words that they found in their writing. So the gap of this writing is that the media is only helpful for helping the students find new words or vocabulary, but there is no guarantee that the idea, which is the problem that is faced by the students, the idea is developed. So there is no guarantee that this micro video help the students to develop their idea. And then Zhu and also C in 2010 conducted a research entitled Flipping an English Writing Class with Technology Enhanced Just-in-Time Teaching and Peer Instruction. So this research also uses technology in helping students to write, but the gap found in this research is that the focus is not on the idea, but still talking about the mechanics and grammar and so on and so forth, which is not the highest problems faced by the students. And then next, Yan Chen, Thomas Smith in 2018 used Google Earth virtual reality and expository writing for English learners from a funds of knowledge perspective. In this research, Google Earth is used as the teaching media, especially for descriptive text. It does help the students to develop the idea to write a descriptive text, but it is only limited for descriptive text or descriptive essay. Meanwhile, in essay writing, it is not only descriptive text that is taught, but also there are some other genres such as argumentative and also narrative text. This Google Earth does help the students for writing descriptive, and it is all only for describing place, so very limited. And Nan Guan and Shanxi Song in 2018, they conducted a study on the advantages of multimedia aided English teaching. Computer multimedia aided English teaching also help them with with grammar and punctuation. So it doesn't touch the idea yet. Meanwhile, the highest problem again, faced by the students are about the development of idea. And then next, Pervin Safari in 2020 conducted a research entitled Constructing an Emancipatory Learning Environment in Iranian English Classes Through Dialogue Journal Writing as an Educational Tool. Dialogue journal writing, so the students are asked to write journals during the lesson. It does help the students to practice more, but then again, it has not touched the development of ideas yet. And then Azam Al-Obaid in 2020, ICT Multimedia Learning Affordances, Role and Impact on ESL Learners Writing Accuracy Development, Writing Accuracy. still the focus is on writing accuracy, which is grammar. Yeah, so it hasn't touched the development of idea yet. So my research focus is I would like to develop teaching media, and I named it as Diglit Essay. Diglit means digital literacy. Yeah? As the title of this presentation is ICT development. Yeah, ICT development has well, ICT development here is digital literacy. Actually, they have the same definition. So the software that I created, yeah, I name it as Diglit Essay, digital literacy to help students to write an essay. So this is an R&D research, yeah, research and development to create a software for helping students to write an essay, and the name is Diglit Essay. Okay, and because my research was done in a classroom base, yeah, so I also connect this software with a learning with case-based learning, yeah, case-based learning. Probably you are familiar with problem-based learning, project-based learning, and this one, the model, the learning model that I use here is case-based learning. So I combine this media and this teaching model. And the problem here is the research question is, how is it to develop learning media of Diglit Essay for teaching essay writing in a classroom which use case-based learning. Okay, there are 6 research questions actually, but I will not mention it one by one, yeah, because I only have 15 minutes and probably it's almost run out. Okay, these are the theory, and this is the what is it, the scoring rubric that I use, yeah. So the essay, yeah, is scored based on the thesis, whether the writer has thesis statement or not, and then whether it has the focus, yeah, and also the writing organization, and then the idea, the details, and also the use of sources. And this is the design. So the case-based, this is the case-based steps, the case-based steps, and I insert the Diglit Essay media in the step of pemecahan kasus. So they are given a case, like for example, there is a case of whether using uniform is important or not. Yeah, this is used. This motion or this topic, yeah, is used when I thought argumentative essay, and after talking about the pro and contra, yeah, a little bit, and then I also mentioned the case, and I group the students into several groups, and they are asked to solve the case, yeah, why whether it is important or not, yeah, to wear uniform, and what's the benefit, and so on and so forth, yeah. So they have to argue there, and in solving the problem, they have to use the Diglit Essay software, and these are the features in Diglit Essay. The first one is when they have created an account in Diglit Essay, yeah, the first step is they have to access. What does it mean by access? Before they write the essay, yeah, they have to read at least 3 texts first, yeah. So I believe in reading writing connection theory, a theory of reading writing connection. So before the students are asked to write, they have to read, yeah, some sources first. So they have to access the internet and find at least three related sources. Yeah, okay, I will show you the software. Yeah, so when it is downloaded, it will be like this, yeah, in your cell phone. And first, you will be asked to create an account in the software, and then the second one, you have to find 3 articles related to the topic, yeah, that your lecturer has informed. So the students will access the internet and find the 3 topics, and they have to copy and paste the URL here. This is the lecturer will see whether or not they have found the 3 articles. Yeah, so they have to
You have 1 minute left.
okay, so they have to copy the URL here, and then they have to read and understand the text, and after that they write their first draft, yeah, which is inspired from reading the 3 articles. And after that, the second draft, yeah, before they write the second draft, they have to I'm so sorry, I mean, the lecturer will ask the other students to read the first draft of their friend, and they have to comment on the first draft of their friends. And if the comment from the friend can be accommodated, they will write the second draft, and the second draft will be put here. And then after that, the lecturer will see the second draft, and if the lecturer still find some mistakes, yeah, related to grammar and so on and so forth, the students will be asked to use Grammarly to check the punctuation, the diction, and also the grammar. Yeah, so it is not the student. The lecturer will not ask the students to revise it, but ask the students to use an artificial intelligence like Grammarly. And then when they have checked the Grammarly, and they have revised the writing according to the suggestion given by the artificial intelligence, yeah, by Grammarly, they have to copy and paste the correct one to the third draft. So this third draft is assumed to be a good text because because it is written after the students read some sources, and after the students get some feedbacks from their friends, and after the writing is checked by an artificial intelligence. So this third draft is assumed to be a lot better than their first draft, and the lecturer will later on score the third draft instead of the first one. So by doing this on and on, yeah, hopefully the students are used to read first before writing, and they are used to navigate, yeah, in the internet. So they are used to read first before writing and use the internet as wise as possible for the sake of their study. And finally, they can write a good essay writing. I think that's all for my. Actually, it is still there are still many things that I would like to convey, but the time is up. Yeah.
It's
So,
okay, Miss Istiqlala. You can continue after all of the presenter have been presented. Their
oh, all right
in
then.
the
Okay,
end.
I'll stop share now. Thank you. But I think that's all my presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Thank you, Miss.
afternoon.
Okay, so Mr. Manuel, are you ready to present your paper? Excuse me, Mr. Manuel, I think you still muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, good. So let me organize my slides first. Could I share it now? Is it seen there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can I start?
Sure.
Okay, once again, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor for me to present my research about an overview analysis on language in education in my country, Timor-Leste. So let me ask you maybe this short question, like, as a language teacher, Why does language matter in education? Maybe you will ask, you may think about the answer later. So let me begin with the introduction. Timor-Leste is a new independent country in Southeast Asia, and we are the only in the country. Our country is the only country that rectified Portuguese language together with our national language as the official language to be used in the country. And then we also have Indonesian and English as a working language. However, the implementation of languages in education is still considered as one of the biggest challenges for these 20 years after independence. And why language matter? I would like to just give a short definition from Verber, 1999. Language is a constitution and organization of sharing words and information that is common to the people in the same country, geographical area, and cultural traditions. And the second is everyone knows who Jones do. Find that education is all one with growing. It has no end beyond itself. So language and education, they are too important nowadays, especially for the development of the country. And why I want to conduct this study, because I look at the definition. This one is like, I want to look at the law in the countries, the national law, decree laws that regulate the use of language teaching in education. So once again, like the definition is, law is a binding custom or practice of the community, a rule of conduct or action prescribed or formally recognized as binding or forced by controlling authority. So I think I don't need to explain this. So this is my research question. What laws and decree laws regulate the languages education in the country? And then what are the major challenges of teaching language in education in the country? The methods of data collection is, the researcher. I collected the laws and decree laws on language in education in the country. And I did an overview analysis on the national constitution, which is rectified about the official and the working languages, and also which is rectified the curriculum of language teaching in education in the country. And then I used the rubric to separate the implementation of language education from primary to university level. In the national constitution, in our national constitution, states the official languages of Portuguese and our national language statute in Article 13. You can see that Tetum and Portuguese shall be the official languages of our country. And Tetum and the other national languages, of course, is our own dialects. As far as we have 16 local languages in the country. And according to the National Basic Law of Education, it states that only Tetum and Portuguese are the language of instructions applied for teaching in all education in the country. However, there are 4 international schools in the country that use English and Portuguese, and only 1 Portuguese international schools that apply Portuguese as a language of instructions without English and Tetum. And the other 3 international schools applies English or use English only as a language of instructions. In our Basic of Education law, states that for the primary level, Tetum and Portuguese are the language of instructions applied for all teaching in all education system. That is the problem we have. Like, we don't have Bahasa or English in the primary level from year 1 to year 6. And we only have Portuguese and Tetum for all the subjects. And for English and Indonesian, our students will learn at the junior high school from year 7 to year 9 until university level. So in the secondary level, from year 10 to year 12, based on the decree law number 47, the official language are the language of instruction in the national curriculum for all secondary education, with the exception of teaching of other languages subjects. So according to the 2015 National Statistic Illustrated, this is the last statistical we have, because the current one just is ongoing at the moment in 2022 because of COVID. Actually, it was in 2020, every 5 years, but now just started. So according to the previous statistic, illustrated that from 50% of 14 to 24 years from all population are able to understand and speak in Portuguese. You believe it or not, in the country, most students speak Portuguese, but most of them speak Bahasa Indonesian is better than Portuguese. And as I have said in the beginning, that there are international schools that use English and Portuguese for the language of instructions. And those students who are studied in these schools, they are the children of diplomats and entrepreneurs who are having job or missions in the country. And what about the university level? So the university level, so far, we only have decree law number 14, 2008, which states that Tetum and Portuguese are the two languages of instructions applied for teaching in all education systems, in exception for language departments. However, in the National University of Timor-Leste, where I finished my undergrad or my bachelor's, and all other universities or private institutes still use Tetum and mostly Indonesian as the language of instructions. That is one of the biggest problems we have at the moment. And except for the international schools, they have their own language, curriculum, and language of instructions, as I have mentioned earlier. Now, the major challenge of teaching language in education, based on my research, number one, lack of facilities and resources in remote schools for teachers and students to teach and learn language effectively. And the second, lack of ICT and internet connections affected language learning. Honestly, the most expensive things in Timor-Leste currently is electricity and internet connections. I mean, the credits for internet. And the third is lack of laws and decree laws to regulate teachers who teach language in education. And I have been observing that in other countries, just like in Indonesia, for example, if anyone wants to apply to teach in whether university levels, he or she must have must meet certain criteria. For example, like must have the TOEFL or IELTS certificates. Unfortunately, in our country, it is not applied yet. We don't have any laws or regulations to regulate this. That's why we have problems with human resources effectiveness of teaching as well in the schools. And the last is lack of graduated teachers in education. The reason is we don't have certain laws to regulate the teachers in terms of capacities and allowance, compensation per month. So teachers or students who graduate from education faculties, most of them go to work abroad in England or in Australia.
Excuse me, Mr. Manuel, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay, so the recommendation of my research is number one, policy and decision makers, especially the Minister of Education, should provide facilities and resources to remote schools to enhance language learning atmosphere. Second, provide the ICT and internet connection at appropriate schools to empower learning language more efficiently. And the third, lawmakers and legislative members should draft and rectify appropriate laws to regulate teachers of education at all school levels. And the last, graduate teachers should be given opportunity to apply new knowledge and skills. Thank you so much. And that is my presentation of my research. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Manuel. Now we will move to Ms. Gadis. The floor is yours.
Yes.
Let me stop sharing the slides. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gadis Morajatisa, and today I would like to present my paper with title An Analysis of Higher Order Thinking Skill in an English Teacher's Book for Junior High School. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear, Ms. Gadis.
Okay, so for the introduction is English is taught as a topic in school in the Republic of Indonesia in addition to being used for communication and upholding diplomatic relations with other countries. The instructor usually assigns the pupils a range of tasks to finish in talent unit determined utilizing the textbook. Numerous studies have shown that this is the educational process cornerstone from Sam and Ellis 1994. So this is the variable of my title, the teacher's book and HOTS. So basically, teacher's book is a guide for teacher who will teach in class. So teacher's book will be guide for the teacher. And for HOTS, or it can call higher order thinking skill, is a part of Bloom's taxonomy table, and higher order thinking skill is a skill who make student will thinking critically and creatively. So my paper, I would like to analyze teacher's book. And for the method, in this qualitative analysis methodology, the descriptive analytical study that describes and clarifies the data before analysis. It's from Letterman 2016. This research was conducted using content analysis using the information received from the textbook. When English rings a bell. So when English rings a bell is the teacher's book that I analyzed. And for the instrument, I have 3 tables. For the first is a Bloom taxonomy table, and 2 tables is from that I made. for the data classification and for the data analysis, I use qualitative descriptive. So basically, qualitative analysis is a part who student will analyze a book, but in terms short-term time. And for the data trustworthiness, I use interoperability. So interoperability is a concept that two lecturers who will check my data. No one definition could potentially satisfy experts in all of these domains because the concept of interoperability has such a broad range of application across numerous fields of research. It's from Bellur et al. 2021. For the findings, so we can see from the findings, this is my data for who match with Bloom's taxonomy table and the data that I've been collect from teacher's book. So it can be seen that a lot of data, not only about HOTS, that there's lots that found in the table, but my focus is HOTS. So yeah, this table is, it can be looked at. There's an invalid data and valid data. And for the discussion, I've been compared with Atiullah. So basically, my paper with Atiullah is same because we focus on thoughts and but Atiullah doesn't use teacher's book and I use teacher's book. The previous study Atiullah carried out the recent study. The findings show that most reading comprehension questions in the textbook fall in the lowest level of the new Bloom's taxonomy. Remembering account for 134, while higher order thinking skill only make up a unit in 24 of the 158 questions. So for the conclusion, in this paper, I use Bloom's taxonomy table and teacher's book who will the main part of my paper. So in general, I look and check whether this teacher's book match with Bloom's taxonomy table. Is it valid or invalid? Maybe that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gadis, and also dear Ms. Istiqlaila, if you still want to continue, you will be given time for about 5 minutes.
I think that's enough. So because I have introduced the the software, yeah. The rest of the materials is about the process of the research. I don't think it is necessary because it is R&D, a very long process. Basil, I think. So,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Istiqlaila. So, dear all of the participants, if you have any questions to Ms. Istiqlaila or Ms. Gadis or Mr. Manuel, please kindly raise your hand or just simply put your questions in the chat box. Nggak usah tunggu sampai selesai. All right, so while waiting for the other participants to share their question, Ms. Istiqlaila, actually I have a question related to your paper.
Okay.
So in some schools, we are not allowed, especially students, to bring their cell phone or laptop or what so-called technology. But in your research, you are using ICT, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mhm,
And
right.
basically, teachers want to integrate technology in their learning. On your paper, you are going to integrate it with writing essay and digital literacy, right? So
Right.
how does this become barriers to nurture students to digital literacy when they are not able to access it at school, especially on writing class? That's my question, Miss.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Very great question. Yeah, I think yeah, some school do not allow the students to bring cell phones. Well, but as I know, there are facilities, yeah, like computer lab, for example. So probably they can use a computer in a lab, yeah, and they can do it. Actually, it is okay too if the teacher instruct them to find the reference together, yeah. So maybe one computer is okay because even though they read the same sources, the same three sources, yeah, but there is no guarantee that their writing will 100% similar. Yeah, so even though they for example, if it is only the teacher who navigate or who find the resource, yeah, I mean the sources, the articles, and then the teacher can probably print out the three sources and ask the students or give the copy of the printed materials to the students, and they have to read the sources first, the three sources, and then they write their first draft according to the sources. Yeah, even though the sources are the same, there is no guarantee that their writing will be the same, right, Mbak Zelsa? Do you agree with me? So if it is not allowed, yeah, for the students to bring their gadget, I think that way is okay too, yeah. The one who find the sources is the teacher. So probably the software is not used in the classroom, but the step by step of the software is still can yeah, is still can be done. Yes, still can be done. Okay, I think.
All right, that's very clear, Miss Isabella,
All right. Thank
for
you.
sure. Yeah, and also
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
might yeah.
the same thing happens to the next step, which is the other student has to read other student has to read their friends writing, yeah, and also comment on it. It can also be done in printed materials, right? Yeah, and then they have to write the second draft. And probably for the Grammarly thing, yeah, or for the third draft, they can do it at home, so they can use their gadget, their computer, or their cell phone. I think like that, but it's also it is still possible.
Thank you for answering my questions, Miss Isabella. So maybe the other participants want to ask or giving comments or share your experience or idea.
Probably I would like to ask Pak Manuel, Mr. Manuel, sir.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm curious, what is the national language there in Timor-Leste?
the national language is Tetum.
Oh, well, I don't know that. I've never heard about it. Okay, so that's the national language. So
But,
what about English? Is English a second language? Oh, national language means the second language, is it?
no, we have, if you believe it or not, most of
Mhm.
Timorese speak
Okay.
5 languages.
Oh, okay.
Most of Timorese, even
All
the
right.
children. So our
Okay.
first language is our mother tongue, dialects,
Okay.
and the second is our national language,
Okay.
and the
Which
third,
is Tito? What is it? What was it?
yeah, Tetum,
The two. Okay.
Tetum.
All right.
But Chris Dayanti already very
Master it.
master.
Wow.
And
And
then our third language is Bahasa, Indonesia, of course.
oh, really?
Yes,
Mm.
because all the TV channels in Bahasa.
Oh, so.
And most of Indonesian people, most of
Hmm.
Indonesian are in the country, like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
restaurants, workshops.
They use Bahasa Indonesia. Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
Bahasa, our national language, has influence from Bahasa and
All right.
mostly from Bahasa.
Okay, 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 okay.
And the fourth language is Portuguese, which is our official
Mm.
language. And English is the fifth language.
Wow.
So
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mbak Zelsa.
Yeah, that's okay. So, Mr. Manuel, do you, I mean, does the school teach all of those five language, or it's just like compulsory? You can choose just one or two, or we have to learn all.
You know, this is very, sometimes you don't believe it. Like at home, we speak our mother tongues, our dialects with our family, children, and at the office, we speak Tetum and English most of the time. But in the classroom, we use code switching and code mixing. Like I teach English for students. For the low-level students, of course, I use the code switching and code mixing, but not with their mother tongues. I don't have idea with their mother tongues, but for sure with the official languages, with Portuguese and with Bahasa Indonesia. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for the information, Mr. Manuel.
You're welcome.
Mm. Is there anyone who wants to ask, maybe
I
for?
think I'd
Yeah.
like to just give comments to Steve. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not good at spelling your names.
All right. Isti is my nickname though.
So Hidayati, yeah.
Isti. Okay, Hidayati, no problem. Yeah.
So what do you think as the main factors for English teachers or language teachers to use the ICT in their teaching, based on your experience, your observations? Because you
Okay.
know, nowadays most students have the Android cell phones.
Yeah, that's why. Because today students are familiar with gadgets. Yeah, they are familiar with ICT. Yeah, even they are better in mastering
Sure, that's it.
technology. Yeah, because they are digital native, right, Pak
Sure.
Manuel? They are digital native. Even my baby, yeah, yeah, is able to scroll down, scroll. Probably when we were baby, yeah, of course, the technology wasn't available yet. So because they are exposed by technology, so why not we take advantage of that, yeah, of that condition. So we train them to use technology for the sake of learning, yeah. So by creating this software of Biglit Essay, I would like to use this condition, yeah, that the students like playing with their gadget. Instead of only for playing, they can also learn with this gadget. So even though it is in pandemic or not in pandemic, this software can can direct them to be able to write a good essay. The problem is, how can they write if they don't read?
Sure.
So yeah, that's why the first activity in my software, yeah, before you can go on to another feature, yeah, the first thing first is you have to read at least 3 articles first before you start writing. From the articles, the students can find new vocabulary, ideas. The most important one is ideas. Without asking them to read first, yeah, suddenly ask them to writing. If we suddenly ask them to write before asking them to read first, usually their writing is not, what is it called? Yeah, is not qualified, or is not nutritious. Let's say if food, it is not nutritious, yeah. So the idea is not developed enough. So yeah, by using this software, I hope that the students, yeah, will be used to read before write. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest negative impact of this using ICT for students is that students access everything.
Yeah, that's true.
If how can you control them that they read that? They are in class, yes, but they are at home, you know, they use Google, they just type the summary of this and that, and then everything.
I know.
Yeah. That is
Yeah,
one
well,
of the
it is.
biggest negative.
It is uncontrollable because we are not at home with them, yeah. they are at school with us only for several hours. Yeah, probably by keep reminding them that technology is there to help you doing your school assignments, not for other any other thing. Okay, what is it? Entertainment is okay, education is okay, but you have to limit yourself because teachers cannot control
Yes, sure.
control them.
And-
Yeah, it is
and
uncontrollable.
one more thing, like whether we are aware or we are not aware of it, technology has changes a lot of teachers' tasks in the classrooms.
You're right.
And I'm afraid in the future, like in Japan now, that teachers
Oh,
they most use technology in the classrooms to teach, to do everything rather than recruit.
I don't think so. I don't think so, sir, because lately I also conducted a research about self-regulation, yes, student self-regulation. If the students don't have good self-regulation, they cannot do their assignment well, yeah, if there is no teacher. So still, and many of the students don't have don't have good self-regulation yet. So still teachers are needed.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Miss Isti and also Mr. Menu. Miss Gadis, are you still there? Because I have a question related to your paper.
Our session is until 2, yeah, Mbak Susa.
Yes. So after this, we are going to go back to the main room because
Okay.
there will be a plenary session. And after the plenary session, the link on your exit ticket will be sent on the chat box. So maybe you can stay there.
All right. Mbak Gadis is there.
Yes, Miss.
Oh, hello, Miss Gadis. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
So on your paper, you are talking about higher thinking skills and also Bloom taxonomy, right? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Okay. So how do you engage your students, especially for junior high school students? How do you engage them to develop their higher order thinking skill? I mean, that's quite hard, I think, for junior high school. But how do you encourage them to try to think and being critically? You get my point?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, thank you.
So first, I'm not a teacher. Basically, I'm a student. So for me, making children who can thinking critically is about guide their way to write write a text, or maybe creating text, or making something that children who will thinking hardly, like making a novel or something. Yeah. For the example, is it answer your question, Miss?
Okay, that's cool, Miss Gadis. So because the time is almost up, I think I will close today's breakout room and today's discussion. But before that, thank you, Miss Isti, Mr. Manuel, and also Miss Gadis for presenting and also answering my questions and sharing your thoughts and idea and opinion. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we have finished our parallel session. After this, please kindly leave this breakout room and return to the main room for the plenary session. Thank you very much for the fruitful discussion. Good afternoon and have a great
Thank
day.
you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Mbak
Thank
Zelza.
you,
Thank you,
Miss.
Bapak Ibu.